My name is KG Prestige. Thank you all so much for being with me here. Welcome everybody back for our final session of the PokePod World Podcast of this decade. It's going to be a new decade, new start, new beginnings, new everything. We are super excited for what we have planned, and I hope you guys will be with us for the ride. And it's amazing that you guys are here tonight to be with me, to be with my pals, to just sit down, chit chat, relax, and just discuss things that have happened within the past week, and even things that are just in between. So of course I'm not gonna go at it alone. I have some of my pals joining me real soon. I just wanted to kind of go and just kind of give you guys a bit of a hello before I get into it. Of course, I see everybody here in the chat right now. I got my pals that I see familiar with: Galar Adventure, Onion Ninja, Rayquaza, Robo, EB, Hypera, Pika, Donnie. There's so many folks I see right there. Hello everybody, just shout out with your hellos in the chat box. Let me know that you're here for tonight's session, and let's go and have a good one. So of course, without a doubt, this week is one of the ones where we're gonna have to talk about, well, Pocket Monsters 2019. We got the newest episode of Pocket Monsters, and of course we also had that New Year's special that they had that recapped a little bit of what they did throughout the year of 2019 with Pocket Monsters 2019 and the future that it holds, or rather that's what we assumed that was going to be shown in that presentation, but little did we know that they showed nothing. So we're going to probably talk a little bit about Pocket Monsters as of now, 7 episodes in, I want to say, and we're going to share our thoughts about it and see where this series could potentially go moving forward. There's a lot of good things that I loved in this episode that I'm super excited to kind of go break down a little bit more when we get into it. Yes, John, I am super happy about that. If you guys are not here, this was one of the best news overall. Untitled Goose Game, and I just want to remind everybody, Untitled Goose Game is an indie game. It's made by a small group of people who just thought of a simple joke, managed to sell an untitled game over 1 million times, 1 million copies worldwide. Untitled Goose Game. That is incredible. Congratulations to the team in House who went out of their way to create one of the most, game-breaking, games in existence. I mean, it's a puppet. It's puppets. It's amazing. But anyway, let me just go and join in with my pal real quick, and then we'll probably go break things a little bit further. So let me go and hop on and check him out and see if everything's okay. Honk. There you go, buddy. You there?
Meep.
Yeah, thank you, Beaker. Dude, that is the only one redeeming factor of the Game Awards of this year, man.
Yes.
The Untitled Beaker game was probably the highlight of it.
Yes.
Also, when the hell did Ruby get a Santa hat on? What the hell? Oh my God, that looked.
Yeah, Donnie's doing his thing.
Oh man, well, first of all, thank you so much for that. I don't even know it just now. I wish I knew where that came from, though, but I love it. Folks, once again, of course, I'm joined here with my pal, Mr. TSS Killer. How you doing, buddy?
Doing fantastic. Folks, gonna talk a little bit about Mr. in a little bit once we get other people, or while we wait for other people, because I'll tell you, wow, that is because the funny thing is the RAM module came today and not tomorrow. So I was able to try a few things before having to go to work, because literally I came home from work 20 minutes ago.
Dang.
So I've been out for 7 hours. So yeah. So I mean, so let's go ahead and actually talk about it while we wait for the other folks, because we have to kill time anyway.
Yeah, go right ahead, buddy. I'm gonna just go and let everybody know we are live while you're at it. Then.
Yes. So I did a live stream on Saturday with because I got the I got the parts needed for, or at least some of the parts needed for, what's called the Mr. FPGA project. Now that consists of a Terasic DE10 Nano, which you can get off of Amazon right now for $140. Comes with everything that you need to get started. Comes with an SD card. Comes with the power supply. pretty much it pretty much is a whole board with an ARM CPU and an ARM SoC and a Cyclone 5 FPGA in it. An FPGA is basically field programmable gate array where it can morph it into pretty much anything that you program it for. That's how software developers develop for certain systems. They use FPGAs. So, and on top of that, I spent about almost $80 for a 128 meg SD RAM module, which just came in today. And basically, the whole point of the Mr. FPGA project is accurate hardware simulation of various gaming platforms, whether it be computers, arcade boards, or consoles. Now, there are many cores. You can go search for it. It's Mr. FPGA. They have a GitHub and they have the whole shebang, listing, wiki, all that stuff. But it can do basically right now several, like a few dozen arcade boards and pretty much everything from the PDP-1 like computer with all the freaking button, like all the lights and shit, all the way up to now the newest core, which is Neo Geo, and then the GBA. So it is very flexible. So the best part about the Mr. project right now is that on HDMI, on an HDMI output, you can get better response input latency than software emulators, which is really crazy. I was playing Streets of Rage 2 on the Genesis core on Saturday night, and I didn't lose a single life until stage 5. Yeah, that is because since the FPGA is programmed in that core to act exactly like the hardware, the Genesis in this case, you don't get anything like false inputs or no inputs. Everything that you press goes through, and plus it goes fast. The FPGA allows for multiple things to be done at the same time. Unlike software emulator where the CPU can only do one thing at a time, FPGA can do multiple cores, multiple parts of the logic at the same time. So you have the CPU going, the input going, all that stuff. Yes, CRT level latency. Yeah, and on top of that, you can also get digital adapters where you can get lag-free to a display. So basically, you're talking about you're talking about maybe within 5 milliseconds or 6 milliseconds input response. So you will not even notice it at all. And I was able to play the Amiga core. I was able to play a game called LED Storm or LED Storm. And I'll tell you, that first time I booted it up, I actually got to level 2. It is extremely difficult to get to play LED Storm on like WinUAE or a software emulator because it's very laggy. But it is so responsive that you can just it's a new experience. It's like breathing new life into games. And I was playing, Super Mario All-Stars, no lag, I didn't die or anything like that. NES also, like I said, within like 1 or 2 frame, it's like very instantaneous. You press the button, things happen. And now, is it for everyone? No. But it's for the people who are hardcore about latency. Input latency, I think, is the main reason to go into the Mr. platform, because once you do that, it'll change the game forever, because you'll have people that are building these very cycle accurate cores. You could also use the Commodore 64 core, and you could wait 2 minutes for the damn disk to load, just like on a real system. It's that experience. But the gaming experience on the Mr. FPGA platform, the DE10 Nano, second to none. Probably the best emulation experience that I've ever experienced in my life. It's so close to actual hardware on a CRT.
It's kind of incredible how technology has evolved over the years, man. It's really insane. And I
Well,
hope
yeah.
one day they could.
If you look at it this way, I mean, hell, I was even playing Yoshi's Island.
Okay, good game, but it's not Yoshi's Highland though. It's
Well, here's the thing. If I get the ROM for that, I could try it on the Mister. I'm pretty sure that it will do some crazy stuff. But I'll say that the prices of FPGAs. I mean, let's break it down for you.
Alrighty.
You could buy an FPGA system right now that could play cards. For example, the Super NT, which is made by Kevin Horton, Kevtris, an Analog, because it's his stuff and it's being sold by Analog. That has a Cyclone 5 FPGA, but it has half the number of logical cores than what's on the dev board, than what's on the Mister board. The same thing with the Mega SG. Once again, an entire system programmed into an FPGA. So that's where we are now. And those two systems are about $200 each. While the Mister, you could run with a 32 meg setup or 64 meg setup, and you could get it for like $180, $150, $200, and you'll be ready to go. And plus, on top of that, the Mister project allows you to use an additional boards where you can attach real controllers, like real console controllers. So if you wanted to play your SNES game with a real SNES controller and super low latency, there's no better experience.
That is insane, though.
Yeah, I will be making a live stream tomorrow. It's going to be the Mr. FPGA Part 2. That's going to be showing off the cores with the SD-RAM module. That means we're going to see stuff like NES, SNES, Commodore 64, Amiga, and Neo Geo. Neo Geo, mwah. You know, I haven't played this great of a Neo Geo experience since I actually played Metal Slug 2 in a cabinet like 15 years ago.
Damn.
It's fucking crazy. It is. You have to experience for yourself. You seriously do. And even on HDMI output, it's just a beautiful experience. Just go look at some YouTube videos on it, you know, and you'll see why a lot of people. Oh yeah, Pizza Time. Oh yeah, that's true. I could also play Turtles in Time on the SNES core.
Damn.
So yeah, that's what it is. So definitely, I have to give all of my praise to the Mister project. It does live up to the hype, and you will see more of that tomorrow evening, during the live stream, because we're not doing Shield tomorrow.
Sadly, because everybody has their own things to do.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, Burger Time.
Kurger Bing, wasn't it?
Well, Burger Time is available as an arcade core in the Mister. So go ahead. You know, so if you want to play Burger Time, you can do that as well.
Also, if you don't mind, I just want to take a second to talk to somebody in particular. Dill Pickle, there we go. Who talked about Demon Slay, best anime of all time. Anybody else still mad about that in the chat? Just out of curiosity. I don't know if you've been following the anime news, TSS, but they were having a decade of anime award show. Yeah, so I want you to think about a decade. You know, obviously everybody knows what decade is. 10 years. It's 10 years worth of anime. And they had an award for favorite animation. This stems from 10 years of history, okay, of anime history, like thousands of shows out there. And the one that came out to be the winner of best animation or favorite animation went to Demon Slayer or Kimetsu no Yaiba that came out earlier this year. So people have went for a title that came out in 2019, over 10 years of anime history, which, by the way, folks, if you don't remember, this is also the same decade where Nichijou exists, and I'm so mad it wasn't even referenced whatsoever in this goddamn category of best animation. Nichijou, okay? I'm talking about that one where somebody gets bit in the hand and somehow some Super Saiyan blast comes out of their mouth and destroys planets, okay? Nichijou should have at least been on there in favorite animation of the decade. I don't know if you've watched Nichijou, TSS, but
I haven't really watched any anime this decade.
yeah,
So-
well, I mean, Nichijou was like one that everybody went to in the early starts of this decade, if I remember.
Yeah, well then again, though, I dropped out of the main anime scene in about 2010.
Well, Nichijou is more of a niche one. It's not really the main one. In fact, that's why it never really got a new season, is because how nobody really cared about the series until a couple of years later when everybody started loving the series. Unfortunately, it was a little too late for that. And Nichijou just sort of became one of those series that phenomenally looks amazing.
Well, at least it's not
Unfortunately,
going to be
didn't receive the
rebooted
love
like-
it deserved, man.
At least it's not going to be rebooted 7 times like Evangelion. So
I thought that was an ongoing series, not a rebooted series.
well,
I don't even know. I never
well,
watched
think
Evangelion.
about it this way: it's like 1.11, 2.22, 3.32. It's like, what the fuck? How many numbers do we need?
3.0 plus 1, it's like I
God,
don't know.
we're getting fucking Kingdom Hearts level of fucking
Reconnect. Oh shit. Reconnect Evangelion 3.0.1. I don't even know. But yeah, so they've been doing these kind of award shows, and I've been really curious about people's thoughts on this, because we got a lot of categories for this list, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to kind of go down and break it bit by bit to kind of hear what people have to say about it, because I know that maybe you might not be very familiar with a lot of them, but I think certain names might catch your attention. For example, let's talk about favorite anime film of the decade. Out of curiosity, is there a particular film maybe you would like to see in this category, whether it be runner-up or the number one favorite anime film of the decade?
Well, that hasn't been released yet, right? Well, definitely. Well,
Yeah, I
well,
mean, like in Japan, it has released, so maybe that.
Okay, so, I know it's gonna be like you're gonna have a silent voice and freaking Your Name and Weathering with You. That's gonna be the 3, but there's also other ones. There's also gonna be like Miyazaki stuff.
Yeah. So here we go then. Allow me to go from number 5 to 1 then. Number 5 in the list actually is going to go to Promare. It is one of the more recent films that was made by Studio Trigger, known for film shows like, I believe, Kill la Kill, and I think Little Witch Academia. I think the Studio Trigger were responsible for that one. After that, we got My Hero Academia, Two Heroes, the more recent film that came out last year. Of course, everybody cannot go without Dragon Ball Super Broly that came out earlier this year. And it's became one of the fastest selling Dragon Ball films to date, man, because of just how beautifully animated that film is. Now, number 2, and you were right on this one, buddy, it's actually going to go to A Silent Voice. This one ended up being the runner-up for Best Film of the Decade, and I'm so happy with that. I mentioned this before. I actually had the opportunity to watch this film because it was available on Netflix, and I actually watched it alongside with my mother because we were interested to see about the history of KyoAni, given the recent incident that they unfortunately had to go through earlier this year. Yeah. And we decided to sit down and watch A Silent Voice, and man, we broke up during certain parts of the film. If you haven't seen the film yet, I guarantee you're going to have at least one tear-jerking moment in this film, because it tackles a lot of topics that are something that people in the real world can relate to, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately because when you learn about the situation that these teenagers have to go through, it really hurts a lot, man. It does. And the heartstrings that they just pluck every single scene is just absolutely emotional. Have you seen this film by any chance, TSS?
No, I don't. No, I did not. I gotta make it my goal for 2020.
You have to. I guarantee you'll get a good viewing from this film, without a doubt. I think it's still available.
And also speaking of which, I gotta buy the ticket for freaking
Weathering with You?
Weathering with You, yeah, because that's gonna be coming out in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Weathering with You is not actually available on this category, or in this favorite anime film.
I think it's because it's too new.
And well, I mean, Promare was also new as well. I think it's also because the film only was available to be viewed in the US via Anime NYC during that one particular day. So if you were not there, you wouldn't have seen the film unless either A, you were in Japan, or B, you were here at Anime NYC to see the film then and there, because I don't think the film will actually release until 2020. I believe it was January, was it?
Well, January 14th.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen the film, then that's when you're going to have to wait to see the film. But yes, number one, of course, as you brought up before, TSS, goes to none other than Your Name. By the way, I've not seen that film yet.
You got to.
Okay, I'll watch Your Name if you watch A Silent Voice.
yeah, but I'll tell you this much. As I said it back 4 months ago when I was in Japan, Weathering with You is better than Your Name.
Oh yeah, I hear a lot of people bring that up, and I'm like, but I did hear that Your Name does get referenced in not in a Silent Voice, in Weathering with You. I'm sorry.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, so there are moments where that does get referenced. If you haven't seen Weathering with You, there is a reference in the film. I knew who they were because of their designs. When you'll understand when you get a chance to see it. Also, I know people are going to specifically try to go for those, but there is one other character that's also in the film. I guarantee you nobody will see the first time around. It was something that flew in the screen just like instantly from scene to scene. That one particular character went and left just like that. And it is such a major character that many fans love. And she appeared and just left as that. But she wasn't even talking or anything. No, she was a Easter egg in the background. That's how it was. And I'm surprised that they even managed to get... I don't know if I should bring it up maybe after the film releases in theaters, and then I'll talk about it. Yeah, so... Yeah, but seriously, though, that one character, though... Woo! Nobody's going to see it the first time around, I guarantee you. Because they didn't put much focus on it, so that's the whole point.
Well, at least I'll be watching it for the second time, so I'm happy.
Yeah. It's interesting. I'm interested to give Your Name a try. I've heard good things about it. I just haven't had the chance to sit down.
You have to do it. When I watched Your Name earlier this year before going back to Japan again, I realized that thankfully I did not watch the first time. Before I went, and then after I went, I recognized every place. Well, almost every place in there except the ones in the sticks, but everything in Tokyo I recognized instant.
Nice.
Because one of the locations in the film
is also in the real world, I assume.
Well, it is in the real world, and it was the location that I was in the first 2 times I went to Japan. It's going to be the third this time as well, so it's going to be the 5th time as well. Where they reference a specific area in Tokyo where I've stayed, and thank goodness I waited until after I came back, from the first couple of trips to do that, and then because otherwise I wouldn't have had a strong connection to that movie as I did if I didn't go there.
Man, one day I'll visit the place that I always so dearly love.
Yeah.
Oh, one of these days, man. There was a tweet that showed the location. Someone says, really? Yeah. I love, if there's one thing I always love when films use real world locations, is when fans go out of their way to kind of go and show the animated side, a screenshot of the animated film, and then a picture of the real world's location, and just how well the filmmakers or animators successfully managed to capture the essence of the location that they're at.
As I said, from Weathering with You, at the beginning there is that internet cafe, that manga cafe that they had at the beginning there, where I went to, and they pretty much duplicated it 1-to-1, and I was like, yeah. And that was in the first 2 minutes of the movie, and I'm like, yes.
How do we get your attention? We reference a particular cafe that you've gone to. Man.
Manga cafe.
Yeah, there are things in this film, I guarantee you, because I've never been to Japan, that will just fly by my head. But for folks like you, TSS, or to those who live in Japan or have toured in Japan, some locales will be nice to see in the big screen, like in Weathering with You. So, and that's nice to hear. Let me just make sure if anything else. There's nothing really else in particular that I think you would be fond of, TSS, from this. They have like original series. Oh, favorite companion creature of the decade. I wonder if there's somebody in here. Let me see. Oh yeah, there he is. They actually did include him here. You know what I'm talking about?
Pikachu.
Yes, indeed. So, favorite companion of the decade. They actually did have the Pikachu in the thing, and also thank you so much, Lightning, for hosting. It says here. How could you have a favorite companion creature list and not include Pikachu? The answer is you can't. And sure, Pikachu has been around for 20 years, over 20 years at this point.
Well, at the same token, Doraemon has been around for 50, but nobody's fucking complaining.
Exactly. But as it says here, but they had a number of shining moments in the 2010s as they joined Ash Ketchum on his quest through the Unova, Kalos, and Alola regions. Oh, and there's the fact that Ash was actually crowned champion in Alola. The journey of Ash and Pikachu continues anew, but we'll never forget just how great of a decade it was for the duo. Yeah, this was the reboot era, was it not? The reboot decade.
Yeah, that's right.
We had like the final moments. Yeah, because we had the final moments of DP, the beginning moments of Unova, then of course Kalos, and lastly Alola. And we're ending the year off in around the world, I guess, if you think about it. But yeah, congratulations to Ash and Pikachu, man, to successfully achieve something like this. Win 2 trophies in the decade, you know, that's awesome right there. So yeah, it was nice to see Pikachu on that list. All right, Funimation, you got my thumbs up on that one right there. Maybe they might not be in any other category, but to see companion for Pikachu, that's a thumbs up in my book right there. So I'm happy. But
good. Now give us the subs, motherfuckers.
that I would prefer Crunchy have them over Funimation, in my opinion. But
yeah, it's true.
At this point, I want anything.
Because the problem is, give you a good example. Funimation, they don't even release on their discs. They don't even give you the option to give you like the Japanese openings to like freaking initial D. Like for example, the text. Like on the DVD releases, they have English text only. But on the streaming, they have it, and it's like, why don't you give it to us like that? You know, do like what they do, like what I think ADV used to do, and that is make a different angle. But they're too fucking lazy for that.
Hold on, let me just, Aqua, in case you wonder what we were talking about, we're just talking about some things about anime awards that they had going on, and I was kind of curious to see if Pikachu was in one of the categories, and Pikachu was in the category for favorite companion creature of the decade. So thankfully Pikachu was there. I'm kind of glad that they did not neglect him there in any slight bit. But yes, I hope that one day we get to see that 0.7%, man. We almost thought we got deceived at the final moments of this year, man. We got deceived by Annie Poke, man, because I mean they released the episode completely free to watch and not blocked any way whatsoever. And then of course like about a week later they then blocked both episode 1 and 2.
Well, they blocked episode 1 2 days after it came out.
Yeah, but then for some reason episode 2 came out and they were unblocked via their website, not in YouTube, but just their own streaming website.
Well, yeah, I think it was the Annie TV, I think.
Yeah, they didn't use like any YouTube channel whatsoever. No, they just used like their own streaming service on that website. Unfortunately, it bit them in the foot because, well, people got to view it there and they did not want that, and unfortunately they had to block it for us yet again. One day, man, we'll get that beautiful subbed release for Pocket Monsters. Maybe the new decade could be the opportunity to do so. I'm not certain, but man, I do feel bad for the people who are gonna have to sub 20 years of Pokemon, man. At least we'll finally get to see the entirety of AG completely subbed. That would be the day. Man, I still want to see the Battle Frontier stuff.
Also, the fun fact is, level 5. If you go to their channel, you can watch episode 1 of Yokai Gakuen Y Academy, and it's unblocked. So you see, level 5 actually knows what the fuck they're doing. Bravo.
Why is it that every time everybody keeps throwing shit at level 5, level 5 just continues to do better, but nobody's acknowledging it. Everybody just considers it to just be a clone of Pocket Monsters, man. Or Game Freak. And I'm like, dude, that's just so disrespectful to level 5. They've earned their title as a well-renowned, third-party company out there.
Yes.
That has made some fantastic games. Yeah, I think that's also something that bit them in the foot there too, Donnie. They took so long for these games to release in the West. And had Yokai Watch had like a simultaneous release both in the West and in Japan, I guarantee you Yokai Watch would have been at a higher scale than where we're at right now.
Well, the problem was Nintendo had to take it, and they had to fucking take it and destroy it.
Well, I mean, Nintendo was the one that pushed it to come to the West, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the problem is it was a year too late, and also they did a very bad job in advertising it.
Well, I mean, that was also the same era when Wii U came out, so
yeah.
Yeah, so that during that time, for some reason, marketing was just not their thing.
Yeah.
The Cold Farb Kiss Lloyd Feller decade. No, we don't speak of these things. We don't speak of Le Gold Farbs here. Well, maybe not, but man, I just can't believe. Yeah, was it? No, it wasn't a decade, was it? With the Gold Farb, he started mainly appearing in X and Y, was it not?
Yeah, so 2013.
Yeah, so 7 years with Gold Farb, I guess. Don't worry, guys. In 3 years from now, we'll get the 10-year anniversary of Gold Farb.
Good. We gotta have him make a 10th anniversary Batman remix.
Oh God. Hey. No,
that's the hero theme. We need that.
Oh, that thing. Oh God.
No, it's that shit.
Oh man,
the Batman theme. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna be surprised if they're gonna use that song in the Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution
with
movie.
orchestra, yeah, Donnie. Orchestra Batman, yeah, that's gonna be the remix, yeah.
Yeah, for exclusively.
Maybe we should get the people that did the Pokemon Orchestra to do the Gold Farb Batman theme. I'm betting you to do that. I'll pay money for that. The people that make the Pokemon the Poke Orchestra stuff, make the Batman theme from the Surfer Batman theme from Gold Farb from Alola and put that on an album.
Somebody says PM might be his last series, according to one of Kevin C's tweets, if I recall correctly. Really now? Huh.
I'm doing all right, Lightning.
I would be surprised if that's the case, but I guess they're probably just gonna get a new composer. Because I mean, technically, if you think about it, the dude's been doing it for a decade, so praise to him for delivering on 10 years of music. I still believe his best work, though, till this day, is for I Choose You, ironically enough.
No, I still think that the Christmas album that he made is the best thing that he's done.
Oh, I mean for Pokemon-related content.
Well, I'm talking about in general.
Oh, in general, yeah. Well, I've never heard it, so I can't say much about that. Also, I mean, I'm doing perfectly fine. I'm just here chit-chatting with my pal right here. We're just talking about things as we wait for everybody else to join in momentarily. I highly doubt Richie will be joining us, because Richie's out there traveling across the globe. He's starting to slowly become TSS in his own respective way in terms of traveling. Although if I recall correctly, he didn't even want to do this to begin with. I don't know the full story.
Yeah, well, at least he has better weather than us, so it's good.
All right, well, good for the man, and hopefully his trip is a memorable one nonetheless. Let me see that tweet that he wrote here. The release of the anime series coincides with the release of the game, so there's kind of a reboot every 3 years. I'm going to be starting my 3-year cycle, my 7th year as the composer for the show. I don't get what the... Oh! Does he mean he's currently on a 3-year contract and that it'll be with the show at least until 2022? We don't... interesting.
That means probably this series is going to last 3 years.
No, I mean, it has to. It would be weird if it just suddenly comes out of nowhere and it's only like a year or something. I'm assuming that's what they're going to go with, but we'll definitely break that down a little bit more as we progress into the actual review for the week. So let me see. The next decade is going to be Gold Farb. Dude. Oh man, I will say though, I'm really, really loving the music in this new series. If that's one thing I can praise this series for, it's the music, man. Especially this week's episode, it was so goddamn good. But
Yeah, that means we're gonna. Here's the thing though. We're gonna have to have a new theme for Go. So, remember last time it was Batman. We're gonna have something else. We're gonna have Spider-Man or Superman.
hold on. Look at this though. I just want to bring up this up. I don't know if you see it as well in the chat, TSS, regarding what RobSo20 said. It says here, I want to point out something really exciting. A scientific podcast called Science Friday regarding Pokemon. Turns out that there is a spot in the brain dedicated to remembering all of the names of the Pokemon.
Okay.
I think that only works if you've been with this series.
Okay. That right there is that came from like a clickbait article from like several months ago. It has to do with whatever subject that you're focused on. It has nothing to do with just Pokemon. That's just people that want to get all the fucking Pokemon hits. So that is clickbait bullshit because it can happen to any subject in the brain that you have lots and lots of dedication to. I have several spots in my brain. I have one to Pokemon, one to Yokai Watch, one to Queen live material, and one to Elton John live material.
Yeah, here we go. I found it.
Games.
It's from The Verge. At least that's the one I'm seeing here.
Yeah, well, The Verge is shit anyway. So
the shit.
well, then again, though, The Verge doesn't know how to fucking build a PC, so you shouldn't even listen to them. So they're fuckheads.
Oh, were they the ones that like build a PC where they like
yes,
put the motherboard?
They did it wrong. Yeah,
I saw that video. That shit had me rolling because I'm like, I'm so glad I spent money on them producing.
Best video of the 2010s. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the best worst video I've ever seen, dude. About like a building, and they don't even tell you how to do it. They just be like, okay, do this, and you're good. And I'm like, wait a minute, wait, hold on, what is it? Like, they don't even tell you the specifics into how doing it. They just show it to you, like as if you.
Well, and also they had the guy put in stuff wrong, and they had to switch it around later, and it's like somebody would kill somebody with that.
And also, they never did they ever apologize for it?
No.
I don't recall they ever apologized for it.
They just took the video down and just changed it. That's it. And they just changed it the write up. And that's
but it still did damage though. That's the issue. If you really followed that video when it was still up, dude, the damage is done there.
Well, somebody already saved the damn thing, so it's in the internets forever. So.
You know what they say? Once it exists, it's there forever, man. But man, I do know that video you're referring to, and holy shit, it did nothing but piss the internet off, especially computer builders.
That's why I don't even listen to The Verge anymore.
Yeah, so they stated right here. I will admit though, I can't always criticize everybody because of course it has different people, and there are other people unfortunately in like groups that you might not like, but they are good people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for me, like for IGN, and there was one dude in there. He's normally the one that does a lot of the Nintendo reviews. I forgot his name off the top of my head, man. But he did like a Nintendo podcast for IGN at one point, and like that, man. I fully enjoyed a lot of the content he's made. I think Doug Bowser tweeted a Bowsette song on Christmas Eve. Dude, please don't, dear God, I need to see that tweet if that happens. Comicbook.com is trash, though, I can tell you that. I know it does. I'm kind of glad that they decided to reference me like 7 times in their site. I think that's my crowning achievement of this decade, man. I've been referenced in comicbook.com 7 times.
So is I've been referenced like once or twice. So.
Yeah, I think you might have actually been on their website at one point, too. Hold on, let me see if I can write it down for you. I think it has to have the underscore, right, for Twitter?
Yeah.
Let me see.
No. With Twitter, no. The email. The username doesn't have an underscore in it.
Oh well, I mean, they still. I did that anyway, and they still shut off one of your things that you posted back in 2017.
The Pikachu one.
The Pikachu dance moves things. There you go.
Yeah. The Pikachu outbreak, the one the video that I posted, which was my first viral one, and that was pretty good. Nice.
Yeah, so I think the more recent one I got referenced on was probably for for the Mewtwo Strikes Back fan dub thing I did a while ago, where I placed like the song of the first Pokemon film into the actual 3D animated film for Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution. Which, by the way, if you haven't yet, folks, we actually did a review on that. It was actually a lot of fun, the review. So if you missed out on it, you should definitely go check it out. I know. I'm sorry, guys. I haven't uploaded on YouTube recently. I mentioned this before. It's been, a busy time, holiday season. Everybody's busy. I want to make sure I'm focusing time with my friends and family. And, the reaction, I still have the reaction completely recorded on my computer thing. I have the full reaction. I don't know if I'll ever upload it, but if I ever find a place where I could upload the entire reaction, including the video footage with you guys, I would. But I don't know where I could do that without getting my ass whooped by any poke, Pornhub. I mean, yeah, sure. Let me see. Oh, actually, no, they tweeted about me just 8 hours ago. Okay. It's about the Mr. Mime comeback that it was going on.
Oh, God, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah. Oh, dude, though, that face by Mr. Mime is definitely something. I think Mr. Mime has earned 100% respect in my book. I don't know about you, buddy, but he has definitely earned my respect.
Yes, because basically when it comes to them capitalizing off of Detective Pikachu, they did it. They fucking did it. We finally got fucking Mr. Mime doing something useful for the first time in like 21 years.
And it wasn't even like a simple moment. No, it was like a badass moment. We're talking about
20 years actually, because we talk about 99.
I just want to talk with the chat real quick. Does anybody else find it hilarious that Mr. Mime has more trophies under its belt than like 80% of Ash's Pokemon in the entirety of Oak Slab, or in the history of Pokemon, the anime in general? That's what threw me off the most. Mr. Mime has more trophies than a lot of Ash's Pokemon has throughout the 20 years of anime that Pokemon has gone through. That just blows my mind. Yep. Man, but I guess now that we've had some time to pass by, I know Tyrone said he'll be joining us really soon, later down the road. You want to try to get into it then? Because I really want to break this down, and I feel like we're going to probably spend more than an hour, honestly, on not just this episode, but also Pocket Monsters in general.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get that fucking 12 FPS Pokeball and let's get started.
Oh, well, I don't have the FPS Pokeball tonight, man.
Oh, come on, man.
You know what? Here, hold on. You know what? I'll do it just for you, buddy. Here we go. Let me just make sure I have the things properly set up here. All right? Here, I'll just let the Pokeball play, but I won't actually do anything with it. There we go. Woo! Hey, we're back again. Are you happy now, buddy?
We transitioned to nothing.
There we go.
Hey, no. Actually, the overlay is there. It's just that Mr. Mime is created.
Oh my God! I have the perfect idea. Hold on, let me get that image real quick.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. Before you do that, actually, I have something. Hold on.
Please give it to me. I have the perfect spot in where to put it.
Okay, stand by.
Holy shit! This is gonna be great if I could actually do this properly. All right.
Hold on a moment.
Okay.
I gotta get the screenshot.
Yeah, folks. As I mentioned, I've been busy. I haven't had the chance to sit down to grab the screenshots or anything for these past couple of weeks. I hope you guys can bear with that, at least just for these 2 weeks that we've been with Christmas and with New Year's. Grandma's here, trying to spend time with her. Time is limited, of course, everybody. So make sure to spend with the loved ones that you have with you, because every moment counts. In my opinion, anyway.
Okay, yeah. So let's just get the thing that everybody likes.
All right.
Out of the way. We have this one.
Where is it at? All right. So where's that Mr. Mime smoking weed pic? Dude, somebody did an edit of that. That was great. Oh, beautiful. All right. Is that the one? Do you have another one as well, or is it just gonna be that one?
Do you want me to have the other one, or
which is the other one that we're referring to, though?
Oh, it's the other face. Oh, wait. I know what it is. Hold on, because it's the other face. Hold on. Also, we need to do like you want how many you want, like 3?
No, just give me just one more.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
All right, stand by.
All righty, thank you.
All right. Let's see. Let's go into here.
All right. While you're at it, I'm just gonna make the FPS ball just pop up in the background for no particular reason again. Let's go. There we go. We're just gonna have this guy in the background. We're just gonna turn this off. Actually, I want to turn this image off without actually doing it, but we'll just have him in the background here. There we go. Look at that. There he is, right there in the background. You love him? There he is. Beautiful. Can't go wrong with that. All right, so. Oh man, we're gonna probably get more pictures, but for now, have Mr. Mime just creeping up in that very thin background over there for the time being, folks. Once again, apologies. I wish I could do better, but like I mentioned, end of the year stuff, really focused right now. So man, all right. But yeah, let's go talk a little bit about this episode. Why don't we? And also, I'm just gonna wait on TSS as well to grab the pictures, and let me just make sure on one last thing as well, because I want to also have the information with me too. There we go. So Pokemon 2019. The title of this episode, known as the Hoenn Region Site of Fierce Fights, the Battle Frontier Challenge. All right. So this episode. Ready to begin, TSS?
All right, wait. I want to see if I can find the other reaction.
Okay. For now, I have that Mr. Mime pick in the background for the time being. Hopefully, he'll do good. All right, let me just turn this off as well while I'm at it. Okay. So, I guess to allow me to start things off for this episode, then.
Go ahead.
All right. A couple of things I really have to say that I absolutely enjoyed from this episode, surprisingly enough, has to be for the animation side. I think the starting episode with the animation, how it went very slow to mimic the mime slash... was it yoga? Or like, what was it that they were really doing at the beginning? Because it wasn't really miming. It was more something else.
Actually, hold on. There's something else that I want to do that isn't mime, but I wanted to do it anyway because I think that this image is awesome.
All right. Kung Fu Tai Chi. That's what folks in the chat were saying. Yeah, I think one of the things that I don't know who it was that animated that sequence, but they did a phenomenal job at the beginning, because it is one thing to animate, certain sequences like this, but to try. But okay, oh god, but to mimic the level of slow movement with animation, it is something that I feel is very difficult to achieve, and I think they did a phenomenal job with that starting sequence of the episode. And it wasn't just simply with one character, no, it was a dozen. I'm talking about Mr. Mime, Go, Kurosagi, Koharu, Strike, Pinsir, Beedrill, Parasect, Metapod. Well, Metapod was standing still.
Yeah, it still was animated.
Yeah, it's still animated. I just find it.
It's like freaking Score Bunny just fucking
he dips. He just dips halfway.
No. It wasn't. No, it wasn't just that. It was also the other sequence. Now, there's a little thing I like to call me and my brother, when we used to live in the first apartment that we used to live in, freaking 20 something years ago. What he used to do was we lived in a 5-story building, and he used to kick a kickball and kick it over and onto the roof, and we called it after the landlord, so we called it Ishman kick. So he fucking Ishman kicked that shit, fucking Metapod, fucking all the way to the fucking moon, man.
And then of course that crack effect when it goes. I'm like, oh my god, they did not just slaughter this man in one episode.
It's some crazy shit.
That wasn't even a tap. No, that was a straight on crack right there.
That's you freaking soccer kicked his ass.
Yeah, like somebody says you snapped the neck.
I broke my back.
Help, I can't get up. But dude, man, I just love how everybody was like... Yeah. I just find it hilarious how Kurosagi and the others are like, What was that noise? That was Mr. Mime, right? But wait a minute, isn't not Mr. Mime? It was Metapod, right? It's like, wait, isn't Metapod, like a cocoon? So doesn't that mean the inside of? And then they just panic, and you see Kurisagi just go up to the rock, and Koharu's like, "Dad, that's a rock. What the hell are you doing?" And then of course, Metapod, he does. I don't know what Metapod did. He just gave like a wink, and he's like, "Hell yeah, I'm okay." I think Metapod is the most badass of the Pokemon, in my opinion. I don't know why. It's like he can't move, he can't do anything, but yet somehow he turned out to be the most suave guy of the entire cast because he gives like that badass blink right there.
And also there's another picture that we need to use also here.
Okay.
Which I think. Hold on a second.
Go right ahead, buddy. Don't worry about it.
Because I'm basically doing this shit.
Yeah, while we're at it. But, man, I felt... Yeah, because it's hard. Somebody said, oh, Metapod is... that's the thing with Metapod. He's always hard. You can never out-hard the dude. But seriously, though, I think one of my concerns I had with Pocket Monsters, personally, was that I was super concerned at the fact that they weren't going to be able to do a good job with Go's Pokemon, because I thought that they were going to be collected and that was going to be the end of their story. I didn't think they were actually going to bring them back up again.
I thought it was going to be like, oh, you go into the thing and that's it. That's the last time we're going to see. Oh, sorry about that. That was the wrong one.
Okay.
Because I fucking uploaded the same thing twice.
No, don't worry about it, buddy.
That's what we want.
Okay, I'll put that up real soon. But yeah, go on, buddy. What were you saying?
No, I'm about to say, I thought that to bring the other Pokemon back, I thought there was going to be Go's just going to put it in the garden and that's the last time we're going to see them, but no, they're actually interacting, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah,
that's why I like that they're doing something different.
Yeah, because we were concerned about that.
Yeah, we were very concerned about that, and at least now they're doing something different without having to stuff the entire the entire country of Colombia up fucking Satoshi's nose. So at least they're doing it in a tasteful manner, and they're actually doing character development for Pokemon character development this early.
Yeah, 7 episodes in, and I think that's so refreshing in my opinion, because I was like, yeah, I know they're not really anything special, there's just literally bug Pokemon, but it adds one of those layers that I appreciated from Pocket Monsters, or Pokemon Sun and Moon in particular. They did a really phenomenal job in making things just fun and energetic to watch, and I think they captured it perfectly here, honestly. Yeah, so to me, I was just happy with it, man. Anything that relates to these kind of Pokemon getting this level of love, it's always a plus in my book, So I'm happy with that. Okay, let me actually just do this real quick. Hopefully this is actually working properly. I know you guys wanted the thingy, so we'll probably switch it right now. I did as fast as I could, so here we go, folks. There we go. I at least did this thing, so hopefully it should be fine. But anyway, so yeah, let's continue on then. So they had Go and the others. They were doing their Kung Fu Tai Chi related things. I will say, Koharu, as little as she appears in this series, surprisingly enough, is actually the most relatable character in the series, because there was a point in the episode at the very beginning where she's like, why am I here? Why exactly am I doing this? And the dad was like, hey, listen, just do it. This could actually come out to be very useful for you. And she's like, okay, I guess. If it wasn't for Go, I wouldn't probably be doing this or something of that sort, So it's like, it makes me happy to see Koharu, as little as she's been appearing in this series. The moments that she does appear, I feel like you really do connect with her, because she feels like a genuine human being. I mean, like, she really can be something that you could relate to, or someone, I should say. And one last thing to talk about before we actually get into the main plot of the episode. I really appreciated Ash here. Because one of the things that I was really concerned about with this episode, or not just this episode, but I should rather say this series, I thought the professor was going to be the one that pushes Ash and Go to various regions and do missions for the professor, and that was going to be it. But Ash, at the start of the episode, was the one that kicked things off for the plot. He was the one that specifically told Go, threw the backpack to him and said, "Get your things, boy. We're heading off to the Hoenn region. We're going to the Battle Frontier." He was the one that initiated that plot of the episode, and I thought that was really cool there. Ash actually went out of his way to look into stuff to go and try to, do himself. And I'm like, oh my god, he's the one that's going to go for the Battle Frontier. That means he's going to be the one to kind of go and look for the challenges. And for that, I appreciate that side of Ash's character, because normally he tends to kind of, he tends to be very one-sided. He tends to just go with the flow and just let that be it, But here, Ash was like, listen, I learned about the Battle Frontier. This is a thing. It's in Hoenn. Let's do it. And he did it. But what did you think about that? About the fact that, Ash is kind of doing things his own way now. He's pushing the characters to go to these regions as well.
It's like we're getting a renaissance. To be honest, like I said, I think considering that we're having the Satoshi showing up as a mentor now, and you can definitely see it now, especially when prompting to go to Hoenn. Now, also the interesting thing is that this canonically is the first time that we've seen the real Battle Frontier from Hoenn in the anime. Like they actually went to the island.
Yeah.
They went to the real island and not in the Battle Frontier arc where they had all the Battle Frontier brains in Kanto instead of here.
Now, just to kind of check, because I think in the episode they showed it off, but I don't think they actually had all of the battle sites on it, right? It only had like the tower, I think it was.
Right, but the thing is though, we don't. That's what we see.
Yes.
So they only focused on that, but at least you can tell that it's the island that's in Hoenn.
Yeah. So yeah, and also somebody says, "Who are the battle brains of the Hoenn region?" Hell do I know. They don't tell us that. That's going to still be a mystery for us.
Yeah, we have plenty of time for that.
Yeah, if they ever decide to bring back the Battle Frontier plot again later down the road. If they brought it up this early, that just means that there's more opportunity to do it. Then again, I said that for the Battle Chateau and X and Y, and clearly let's see how that turned out. Or was it the Battle My Zone? I forgot which one
Battle
it was.
My Zone.
Okay, so yeah, that one. I thought that they could have used that plot again some point, but they never really did, so if they do it for Battle Frontier, maybe like they'll go to the Sinnoh Frontier.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool. A nice little detail there. Or, I highly doubt they'll ever do this, but what about the Battle Tower in Kanto? The one in the Sevi Islands? I highly doubt they're ever going to bring back the Sevi Islands again, but that would be cool.
I mean, it all depends, but like I said, considering that this series is an open-ended storyline, it seems like, I think anything is possible. Anything's possible.
Let me see. I think there are 4 Battle Frontiers. There's in the anime, I guess you can consider the Kanto. For the games, there's Hoenn, there's Sinnoh, and then there's Johto.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are opportunities, like, there could be, like, different rankings for Ash to conquer in the world of Pokemon. So you could be like, okay, you completed the Hoenn one, now we'll go for the next one, which is probably going to be in the Johto region, and then after the Sinnoh.
I don't think we're gonna get to the nitty-gritty stuff until later on.
Yeah.
Until after we had the storyline basis.
Yeah, because right now they're still trying to find their footing on this series, and they yet to accomplish that. But I think they've done a lot so far to really do.
As soon as we get more of the more character development for Koharu and Go.
Yeah,
because that's when we're gonna really get into the real meat and potatoes of this series.
I will say though, I've been really loving Go so much in this series, man.
Yeah,
his character development is so refreshing. I know it's very basic, but it's something new, and for that, I appreciate a little bit. But it's what they do with Go that really sets him apart from a lot of other characters. I mean, one of the moments in this episode was when, he loses to the Pokemon in the Pokemon battle, in the Battle Frontier fights.
Yeah.
And he's right there in the Pokemon Center, and he talks with, with Ash, and he's like, you know what? Pokemon catching is just so much better than battling. And he just runs off like that.
Also, biggest disappointment of the decade, There's no Suba.
Oh yeah,
voice.
they never said any Suba noises, right? It just hopped around.
No. At the when Grina like freaking goes crazy, or Mighty Ina goes crazy, at the end there you see Subame fly away, but the voice is not the voice.
Yeah.
It sounds like Nicole doing the voice.
Did they
or
ever give the
Wakana
voice?
Wakana doing the voice, but it's not really the voice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it could be a female Suba, so maybe that might be why.
Well, not really, because I just because it doesn't sound like it. It doesn't sound like the original. Yeah, but the problem is the voice isn't the same.
Yeah, so I guess maybe in the next episode we'll probably see more Suba Junior, But as of right now,
but it was very weak. It was a very weak cry, and it didn't sound right. That stood out for me like a sore thumb.
Yeah, but at least it was nice to see Suba, though. I'll always appreciate any little bit of Suba, whether it be the little guy or the big full evolution, man. But yeah, I agree with you, though. Hibani tearing a bit of the fur out of Mighty Anna, that shit had me rolling, because I just love how they just, they bonk their head on its butt, and Scorebuddy's just like, what is this? Drip, and just rips out the hair, just so nonchalantly, just strips that shit right out of its skin, and the poor Mighty Anna starts screaming in agony. Dude, that scene was beautiful. Oh man, this episode had a lot of laughing moments, man. Like how we started with the beginning with Mr. Mime doing the kung fu stuff, and everybody's trying to mimic it, and then Scorebunny decides to give a 1-2 kick to both Ash and Metapod, and of course, the other kick that Ash received. Because the Scorebuddy.
Well, it's not coming up in the. It's coming up this year.
Yeah, so let's go talk about the character of the day. The one that I really believe, personally, he should appear more than once. Because this is a defining definition of, looks can be deceiving or never judge a book by its cover kind of character.
Yeah.
Because, oh my god, this dude, every time he appeared on the scene, he made me laugh so much, man. I believe his name goes under the way of Hoji, was it? I think
Hoji, yeah. Hoji, yeah.
Yeah, Hoji.
Hoji, yeah.
Hoji from, what was it? Fluent?
I think.
Yeah, something like that. But man, he was so cool because I love it. Like, he has this very cynical, evil kind of look to him. And you see him confronting Ash at one point of the episode, and you think that there's going to be a battle happening outside of the battle frontier in itself, and you think something insane's about to go down, and maybe they could get disqualified or something, and he's like, can you
Lava
move,
Ridge.
please?
Oh, yeah, he's from Lava Ridge.
Yeah, he's like, can you, move to the side? I just gotta recycle this bottle.
I want to say about Hoji's design, because to me, he kind of has the kind of, the punkish, the pompadour thing, but also has the same teeth as the punk in X and Y.
Yeah.
The punk girl. So it's kind of like that. They combine that.
But man, they nailed him perfectly because
he rides around on Hariyama.
Yeah,
and he tries to throw away a freaking plastic bottle, and you just see his arm just trying to get into the fucking thing.
And instead of the bottle, his fucking face just into the hole.
Yeah, just right into the garbage can.
Yeah, and then Ash was like, "Oh, you mean this?" He just decides to throw it there, and then Hoji's like, "Don't worry, I'm okay." And then they have a genuine conversation. That's my favorite part. He looks so weird. He looks like somebody that would be a bad person, but then he's really
it looks
chill.
Like somebody's gonna beat the shit out of you in the alley or something.
Yeah, and he's a chill dude. He's so cool. I love him so much. He's such a great character. And that's something that I appreciate from his design. Looks can be deceiving, and when it's done properly, you get scenes like this. Another thing I also love about his character is that he could say things that people can take completely differently. Like, there are moments in this episode where is it actually him?
Yes.
Is it actually him?
Yes, it is him. It's him.
It's him.
It's him.
It's you.
He
did it. Turn on.
He
did it.
Hey, you did it.
You did it.
Thank you, Brock. But hello, Tyrone. How you doing,
what's
buddy?
up?
Nothing
Hey,
much.
I'm
We're
late,
talking
but
about.
I'm here.
Don't worry. We just started talking about Pocket Monsters, and glad to have you on board, buddy. And
All
I
right,
think everybody is also saying hello as well. You did it, Tyrone. You made it.
Yeah, I did it.
Good job, buddy. So just to kind of catch you up to what we've been talking about, we didn't really get too far into the episode review. We were just talking about some minor moments that we loved, like how the whole Mr. Mime Kung Fu Tai Chi thing that they did at the start of the episode with the Metapod and everything. And then, of course, we're now talking about Hoji as a character. The dude who looks like he's a complete jerk, but is actually a very humble guy.
I actually do like that. I like that they didn't follow the same trope with Pokemon where they got the jackass trainer.
Yeah, you want to go and take a second to talk about that, buddy? Because I think we've given our thoughts on it, and you want to share your take on it?
Okay, so yeah, I do like. I'm just starting from everything I liked and disliked from start to finish, just in chronological order. I do like that Metapod out of all the Pokemon to do yoga is like the best one at it because he's essentially doing nothing. This episode really did a good job of adding personality to Pokemon that otherwise didn't. Like Metapod,
Pinsir.
Mr. Mime, Pinsir, Mr. Mime has way more personality than I thought.
Yeah, because Pinsir, when we've seen him in the anime in the last decades, doesn't really have it's like a stone-faced demeanor.
Pinsir's entire role in Pokemon usually is it's one of those. I call him a stampede Pokemon. A Pokemon specifically meant to be in packs to chase our heroes to kill them. Beedrills, Tauros, Nidoking, sometimes Rhyhorn, Fearos, Spearows. All of those Pokemon are usually built for one purpose. Right. Kill the heroes. So it's really refreshing to see a Pokemon like Pinsir actually be nervous to be like, no, I don't want, especially considering that Pinsir did battle Go and Ash and them. But here he was all bark and no bite, essentially. Yeah. And I guess that kind of makes it justifiable how Go was able to catch him so easily.
Also, another thing to point out about that scene was Go's like he said in the background. It's like Pinsir's like, oh, hell no, I didn't want to do this. It goes like but like a really long one. And then of course Scyther decides to be like, strike. And I don't know if you guys paid attention to the sound effect, but like whenever he turns his eyes to Go, they make like a whoop, whoop noise every time he does that. It is such a cute little detail I love because Strike is trying to get Go's attention to select him to be the fighter instead.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I'm the beastiest Pokemon here. You
come on, look how fast I'm moving these claws right here.
Right. So I do like that. I do love how when they do make it to the tournament too. I like how when they make it to the tournament, Go straight up gets his butt kicked.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I thought, I don't know, in my mind, I thought this was going to be an Ash and Go railing through this tournament situation.
Yeah, because that's normally what they do, don't they?
Yeah, until eventually Go would have to fight the jerk guy and lose, and then Ash would have to fight the jerk guy and lose, which essentially still is what happens. It's just Go loses out the gate.
And also, the jerk guy was never really a jerk at all.
Yeah, and the jerk guy wasn't really a jerk. He's just a really humble dude that happens to look like a delinquent.
Yeah, I was mentioning to TSS earlier before he got into the call how he has some lines that he says that are taken completely out of context when someone else hears it because it's being said by someone who looks like a complete punk,
Yes.
Like where he's like, oh, I'm going to fight this guy, I guess, and then goes like, this guy, what are you talking about? Or something like that,
Yeah.
It's moments like those where it's like, yeah, he doesn't mean it like a bad thing. It's just he looks bad, so you're thinking it's actually bad, but it's not.
Yeah, and I also do like how, and this is the first time since I want to say Gen 1 or Gen 2 that's done it, the Pokedex compliments on the fact that Tailo, well, not just Tailo, just Pokemon eat other Pokemon in this world. The Pokedex, when Go is catching the Tailo, notes that Tailo go around looking for Wurmple to eat. So he uses that knowledge so he can catch the Tailo, so the Tailo can lead him to the Wurmple, which he catches 3 to cover his ass because one of them could evolve into Slickoon or Cascoon.
Yeah.
Essentially what he's doing is that he's catching 5 Pokemon for the price of catching 3, which smart. It's very smart. So I do like that. I also like the fact that, well, Ash and the Mr. Mime thing, you called that a while ago, KG, and I think one of the issues is I like it, you like it, clearly people like it, but I know there's going to be other people who are going to be salty about it because it's the Hoenn region and they wanted fucking Sceptile or Swellow or something, or Corphish or something else.
But I think though that it's way too early to get them all, and I would say do it when they need to do it. They don't need to reference them right now out of the gate.
I think Ash's plan here too, he used Mr. Mime because of two reasons. One, essentially I always thought Mr. Mime was pretty much Delia's Pokemon. Ash just gave it to her to keep around the house. But that special that aired in January proved that it was because they showed Mr. Mime as his Pokemon. Well, no, it's his Pokemon. It's his Pokemon. But I always figured it's like a gift from Ash. Like it'd be kind of stupid for him to not. He gave her the Pokeball, so she even throws it. She does the whole thing. And Ash has an embarrassing moment where he's like, "No, Mom, you're supposed to say I got a Pokemon like this," and like he had that whole thing. They did all of that.
Yeah, and also I guess you could relate this similar to the Pokemon at Kukui's lab, where they're treated more like family, and then whenever Ash, if he decides to go there, it'll be his Pokemon, you know?
Yeah, so essentially it's Delia's Pokemon. Just Ash has it. Like Ash officially caught it. I think Ash's plan here though was to use a Pokemon that he technically owns but has never used. Yeah. To test himself. He's already done a really great job with the Pokemon he has. He used Mr. Mime essentially to go, well, I'm champion and this is a tournament. Let's use a Pokemon I've never messed with before and see how well it fights.
Or maybe, you never know, in the background in off-screen land, they might have actually been doing stuff. Do you remember that one?
No. I like the idea that he didn't train him. I like the idea that he used them fresh.
I will say the only reason why I brought that up is because I remembered in Sun and Moon during the ending of Pose, remember that moment when they had Mr. Mime and Ash do the psychic, I think it was the psychic Z-move pose? Yeah. Like, I'm assuming they've been doing some battling or stuff.
I don't like that. I don't like that. I like the idea that Mr. Mime is just this maid that Ash just happened to pick up and have do, and then he just happened to be really good. Like an Alfred situation. Yeah, Alfred is actually really good at fighting, but you never see him do anything to allocate towards it. Yeah. I like that a lot better. If he trained with Mr. Mime, then it's too expected that he'll be good. I like the idea that I like the expect the unexpected situation.
That is true. I think that also, the thing that also helps prove your point is when Mr. Mime is just like on an invisible wall and he's just chilling there, just yawning, waiting for the next move to come in, and then just doing the next thing, you know, like Mega Punch or Barrier, you know, stuff like that. Yeah, that does solidify.
No. He used Focus Punch.
Focus Punch reflect Psychic.
Oh, was it actually Focus Punch? I keep hearing a lot of people say Mega Punch.
Ki Punch.
The anime, unfortunately, does this thing where Focus Punch doesn't like the focus part of Focus. No, the Focus Punch of the focus part of Focus Punch doesn't matter.
Ah, okay.
They just do it.
Just punch.
Just punch. Yeah, that's where the downside is. I also love the idea that I love that Mr. Mime still lives up to it. The fact that it's not much of a battler because he just straight up quits.
I thought the reason why was because he was not going to be very effective against the next Pokemon that was coming.
No, he just didn't want to. He just didn't want to fight.
No, also the fact that Psychic versus Dark.
Exactly.
Well, no, but Mr. Mime just didn't literally. The announcer goes, "Mr. Mime lost the will to fight."
Yeah, but the reason why that happened was because Mr. Mime saw its opponent and then did...
By the way, I found the other image. So.
No, because if I don't want to say weakness was a thing here. I mean, yeah, obviously type thing, but that's... The thing about it was like Mr. Mime looked more bored than scared.
No, but he was shaking, though. Like, they literally animated him shaking.
He was afraid.
Yeah, he was afraid.
It's afraid.
Yeah, he's
afraid. You can see in the body language.
Yeah, like Mr. Mime knew who he could fight.
That does still compliment the fact that he wasn't he hasn't been fighting on the regs because Ash has always been using Pokemon that have type advantages. That's just him.
Yeah.
So I never really stopped and seen any of Ash's Pokemon waver due to type advantage except for Oshawott.
Oh,
that's for common.
Somebody brought up a good point. Maybe Intimidate came into effect too.
Yeah, also someone brings up a point. Mr. Mime was part fairy, so I'm not gonna. Part of that cancels it out.
Is this Ash's first psychic / fairy type? Technically.
Well,
because it is still under his, so that means he's been having a fairy type since the goddamn
So he's
beginning.
had a fairy type since the beginning, yeah.
Wow, that's actually pretty cool. I applaud them for that.
Yeah. So we have so we have this one too.
Oh hell yeah! There we go. Yeah, that's the shot right there where Mr. Mime does that face and then immediately says X, and so there we go.
I also love the idea, and this pretty much complements on what type of Pokemon like trainer you are as a person. I love the idea that the minute Go loses, he is more or less not feeling it. He knows where his skills lie, and it's in catching Pokemon, not battling them. Ash's job here, and this was a really good episode for Ash, and we kind of needed it because Go's episode was the last episode. This episode essentially was Ash teaching Go, hey, you may not win them all, but battles are still fun in the end. And Ash really proves his worth here when he has Pikachu slingshot in the freaking Mighty Anna.
Also, another thing, once again, respect to Ash for working with what Pokemon he has in his team, because Ash is normally known to be a very speedy, very offensive kind of character with his Pokemon. I mean, that's why he has a lot of fast-moving Pokemon, like, Pikachu, let's go to X and Y with Hawlucha, Sun and Moon with, say, with Torracat and Lycanroc, So, it's moments like those, you usually see Ash being more on the offensive side. But here in this episode, one of the good things that they did was showcase how Ash is able to adapt with the Pokemon that he has with him. With a Pokemon like Mr. Mime, who's not known to be someone that moves very quickly, but rather be on the defensive side, he used that to his advantage to kind of use Barrier to trap the Pokemon and then immediately go up with a special move to launch it into the air and then knock it back down. It's really something that I appreciate from Ash, and really is, once again, showing how competent as a trainer he really is and how much he has, evolved over the years, no pun intended. So I appreciate that side of him.
Except he's not going to get the penultimate Mr. Rhyme because he's not from Galar.
Not yet, anyway. You don't know that. Maybe it can happen.
No, it can't. That's not even a Galarian Mr. Mime.
Yeah, because that's different.
It's a different form.
Yeah, but I mean, they could try to figure out, maybe not Ash, but maybe somebody, like Go, I guess. Go can catch it. Like a Mr. Mime, Galarian form, and a Mr. Rhyme. Similar to how he's caught Metapod and, Butterfree and all that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's possible. I will love
it. Like I said, I do like where this episode took these two characters. Go taking that loss kind of hard the way he did. I'm glad they did that. I'm glad they didn't just if he lost, I'm glad he didn't just go off and, spend the rest of that time catching Pokemon. He does eventually come back and he sees, there's more to Pokemon battles still have their value. And they're not, it's clear that Go is a catching trainer and Ash is a battling trainer. That's the direction they've gone in this. But I love how their skills are showing off towards each other. It's clear that Go is learning something from Ash. He's being inspired. He's learning something. He knows the type of trainer that Ash is. Now, from what we also saw, let's see what else. Other than that, not much else. I do like, other than Go catching those Pokemon, this episode technically would have been filler.
Yeah. But, this is gonna be the longest list on the Sergi site, man.
Yeah, but it was
Pokemon.
Yeah, but I was gonna say this was a good episode for both of those characters, and I like the way that they approach it. I liked the fact that Go lost. He didn't just lose; he got steamrolled.
Yeah, he got fucking owned because 4X weakness.
Well, not even just that, because he was thinking ahead. He had Scyther out under the mindset that Scyther would have an advantage against Dark-type Pokemon, which technically, yes. He was just thinking too much. He had the exact same problem, essentially, that I think Max had.
I was about to bring that up. Yeah, with the Meryl, was it?
Yeah, where he kept using status moves. Sorry. Yeah, he kept using status moves. But the problem with using status moves is you waste too much time. Yeah, you waste too much time. You're wide open. You're supposed to use status moves when there's an opening.
Yeah, but
and
see
then
the
increase
difference.
Your stats.
But the difference between Max was that Max was able to, go on the offense when he had the time, because there were many moments where he could do it. Here with Go, it's okay, I'm gonna kick things off with this, and my Pokemon's taken down.
Yeah, because Scyther's defenses are terrible. So
the problem is should have attacked because fucking Swords Dance doesn't do shit.
It raises his attack power.
Yeah,
but it
left him wide open.
Yeah, it ain't gonna do shit when you have a Pokemon that's gonna attack your ass.
He should have used agility so he could have enough speed to outmaneuver him, then use freaking Swords Dance, or to the very least, just start off with X Scissors.
Also, I think Go was caught off guard because Mightyena came out of nowhere with Fire Fang of all moves.
Yeah, that too. That means the trainer he was fighting was a good trainer too. He knew about type advantages and he compensated. For it.
And I think that's what shook Go for a minute there because he didn't know how to adapt to it. He's like, okay, I think that this Pokemon's only gonna have normal and dark moves. Like suddenly out of nowhere, Fire Fang. What?
To be fair, I left Pin Missile on my Lanoon for a long fucking time, and that ended up helping me. Even though Pin Missile is only a 15 move, if it's super effective.
Yeah, and once again proves Tyrone's point about like how Hoji as a character is a really skilled trainer, and props to him. He has a good team. Hariyama, Mightyena.
It shows his level of competence, definitely.
Yeah,
and I like the idea that this was just a nice little tournament that they could play in. I mean, granted, they did the only real battles to look upon are like the 3 Go versus
Hoji.
You said Hoji, Ash versus Hoji. Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
And then they had the montage of Ash and Hoji just sort of steamrolling the rest of the trainers.
Yeah, like you saw Altaria get defeated, you saw all these other Pokemon get defeated, but I think that was their point. They wanted to show these two trainers.
Yeah, they just wanted to get straight to it.
Yeah, like see, in like little tournaments like these, I can accept when we're pushing through the plot because I think that's something good right there.
Well, Donnie, actually, the reason why Go didn't do it because he's not a skilled battler. He's not a skilled trainer yet.
Yeah, there's something between viewing a battle and then being in the battle itself.
Well, up to this point, Go's only fought wild Pokemon. He's never fought a trained Pokemon.
Yeah, he hasn't developed his strategy yet.
Yeah.
So that's great. That's a great door opening for development. And that's what they're going to do. And I like the fact that he got owned in the first round.
Yeah, like as Tyrone mentioned, had Go been steamrolling till he got to Hoji and then lost there, I think that impact would have been completely negated then and there. It wouldn't have.
It would have looked like he just lost. But the minute he lost against Hoji in the first, he was just sort of like, I'm done with Pokemon battles. Those are lame. I like catching Pokemon anyway. Like, it's weird. It's almost like, and I know I'm probably saying something that was already said once before, probably, with knowing you guys. Go almost seems like he's catching Pokemon to make up for the fact that he doesn't make friends with people.
Yeah, because like there was a segment where he's like, you know what, battling's no fun compared to catching. I'm just gonna go and do that. And then Ash is like, please come back when I fight, and he just runs off like that.
In this tournament, and not just even in this tournament, just in general, Ash makes friends by battling. Like a lot of the friendships he's developed over these years usually come through the rivalries he has with other.
Also, that's a good point too. Ash made friends with Hoji, but not Go with Hoji.
That's my point. That's my point.
I didn't even catch that, actually. Yeah, you're right.
Because battling is a great way to bring people and Pokemon together. Go doesn't care enough about people, so battling to him is almost a minute point. Like, he can catch his friends as far as he's concerned. I know that sounded really stupid, but...
No, I get it.
Excellent!
What?
No, the Pokedex, whatever, it says, excellent, nice,
excellent,
great.
But Go is he's like, as far as I'm concerned, I can catch my friends. I don't need.
Yeah, he's very introverted. He's very introverted. Yeah,
he's super introverted. But when he saw Ash battle and he saw how much closer it brought him and Hoji together in that battle, because for all intents and purposes, for a Pikachu versus Mightyena fight, it was actually pretty good.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's
also, that reference to Sun and Moon there with the net. With
the slingshot electro web combo.
Yeah, and the Iron Tail suit after. Also, smart little detail here. I don't know if you guys caught this, but I really appreciated this moment. Normally, whenever a trainer tells a Pokemon to dodge, they normally have like this couple of seconds gap for the Pokemon to dodge, but immediately they don't.
Pikachu was too fast.
Yeah, so when he was saying to dodge, in between his sentence, Pikachu strike down Mightyena. That is such a small little detail I appreciate that they tweaked in this season. Because that's something that they always seem to screw up in past seasons. I'm talking about all the other generations where it's
Where
like
every Pokemon has enough time to dodge.
yeah, like you clearly could
fast.
see they could dodge, and then they don't even dodge at all. But here it's like, Mightyena go down, boom, and just right then and there, just blasted at that moment. And you saw that crater that Pikachu left for the poor Mightyena. That Pokemon went in deep down the hole. Yeah,
I love the fact that the Ash used the field to his advantage too, because that roof hole wasn't there until Mightyena did that.
No, that was also
move?
Pikachu too. The Pikachu used Thunderbolt, and he just created a goddamn hole in the roof.
Yeah, but I'm saying he did that to counter that, and it just happened to hit the roof.
Was it Fire Fang that it was countering?
No. What was the move that Mightyena used? Dark Pulse? Was that Dark Pulse or Snarl?
Let me see it.
Snarl, someone said.
I think it was Snarl, yeah. It was Snarl. So the combination made the hole in the roof, and then Ash used the hole in the roof.
Yeah, Snarl is called Bark Out in Japanese.
Yeah, and he used the hole in the roof in order to make Pikachu slingshot. He used the field basically to his advantage. The immediate change to the field was his advantage.
And once again, proving the point I mentioned before, how Ash is quickly able to adapt in the situation that he's in. He just had like a couple of seconds to realize that hole exists, and yet manages to come up with a plot to utilize it to defeat the Mightyena then and there. And that, to me, is something that I think they established very, very well with this episode, and something a lot of fans were craving for from Ash, because 7 episodes in, after the events that happened in Sun and Moon, we want to see Champion Ash here and there, because he did become a champion.
Satoshi has become the equivalent, the Pokemon equivalent of a master chess player, being able to manipulate things in real time.
Yeah,
and
I do still want him to catch some. Yeah, I do still want him to catch some other Pokemon. Though. I'm getting kind of sick of Pikachu just sort of owning everything.
Well, Mr. Mime came in and did the work.
Well,
too.
yeah, Mr. Mime did some work too, but I need him to get some more Pokemon. So.
No, everybody would want, but I'm really liking that we're taking time now.
But we've barely seen we even seen him fucking battle, like real battle, like before.
I'm gonna say, well, the only time we saw Mr. Mime actually in action was during his
Chronicles,
debut episode.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just talking in series was his debut episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was about it, and it's like, yeah, we had to wait 20 years for the fight again.
Yeah, and I'm grateful for it. I think that this episode did a really solid job with Mr. Mime. I think if there was any other way they could have done it, I feel like there wasn't. I think this was such a good method for handling Mr. Mime as a character, and also going that Detective Pikachu route with his face reactions, man.
But with that being said, this new series, this new 2019 series, is pulling out all of the stops. It's referencing every facet of the Pokemon franchise, and that's what I like about it. There's something for everyone.
And it does a really solid job with all of the little details, man. For starters, let's talk about the reward that you get for completing the Battle Frontier fight. You get these flutes, and of course the trophy as well. Flute. The glass flutes, which is of course a reference to a particular spot in Hoenn, where if you collect a certain amount of ash, you will receive, or you will trade it for the flute. They will make you that said flute that gives certain status healing effects to it. Like
I want to say it's the route near Fall Arbor Town or something.
Yeah, that weird,
or is it Lava Ridge? It's Lava Ridge because the
not Lava Ridge. Not.
It has to be because lava's in the name. The volcano makes the ash that shows up.
No, to get to Lava Ridge, you have to take the what was it? That weird machine, Fall Arbor Town. Somebody says.
So it is Fall Arbor.
Yeah, because you have to take that weird railing to get to the top of the volcano to then go back down to take to the left to get to that area. But yeah, the ash route. Not our ash. I'm talking about ash, as in that weird dusty volcano.
But yeah, it's the ash route. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's that, and if you gather enough of ash, you get a glass flute.
Yeah, and Ash got a couple of them, and now has also another trophy to add to the collection. I was mentioning this before, Tyrone. It's funny how Mr. Mime has more trophies under its belt than a lot of Ash's Pokemon.
Damn.
Yeah, I know, right? The sad truth right there. But just props to Mr. Mime. Like, he's one of the few Pokemon to have it alongside Charizard, Pikachu, Snorlax, Tauros.
Technically, his win
Melmetal.
count is perfect.
He's doing something that Guja wish it could have done back in X and Y.
He has a perfect win count. He's never lost.
Did they break though when they fell? No, because Mr. Mime at the end of the episode used it to do something. I don't know, just smoke some weed or whatever. It looked like a pipe to me.
They're hookah. They're hookah.
Hookah.
No, they just want some bongs.
Yeah, like I think somebody actually did an edit of that where it's like the starry night sky, but instead of the flute, he has like this big ass cigar in his hand. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Nah, it's more like a bong. It's like he's smoking with Snoop Dogg.
But man, though, I did like that. So I guess Mr. Mime is gonna be the one to go. Whoa, the hell was that?
That was the noise the bong makes when he's smoking it.
Do you have one with you or something? Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, I just really good at sound effects.
Oh, fucking God. I hope to dear God that is the case. Oh, man, but like, for real.
Hey, so you know how I pretend that there's invisible walls? Well, what if those walls were real and the walls that are real are invisible?
Bro.
Bro.
It'd be like Harold and Kumar go to White Castle.
Yeah.
Smoke weed every day.
Mr. Mime goes to White Castle.
Man, I forgot that one
Pokemon Weed
reference.
remix. We need it. Yeah.
Pokemon Weed. But
I think that game actually exists. Anyway.
yeah, Oddish is the mascot.
But let's see, what else was there in this episode? Oh, let's talk about Serena, I guess, as well. The girl that people were thinking was Serena, but was
What? No, she looks more like Misty.
Yeah, but people said she looked more like Serena, surprisingly.
So by the way, that
Okay.
woman, that female trainer that was on the screen there, she's uncredited.
For some odd reason.
I guess because she was.
She didn't. Did she
person.
say anything?
Yeah, she said a couple
Yes.
of lines.
So I'm guessing that that's not the character that she voiced in the main episode because how the credits work is the most significant character gets the credit.
Yeah.
So you might have somebody like for example, Yuji Ueda actually gets the Barryard credit because that's the most significant character that he played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it might be that Pokedex girl, the one that's doing the sound effects for Excellent and all that?
How you know? I don't know,
Because, like, who else could she have been voiced in this episode?
I don't think she was important enough to care. Like when I saw, I was just like, she exists, and then
No, come on. She's got to be like that announcer girl from Sun and Moon where she appears throughout multiple episodes. I would love that.
She was pretty, but I don't know. I just.
I love her cute little fang, though. So
Since the
cute.
episode was about Ash and Go, I didn't focus on it.
No, I loved her, like, cute little
Actually,
fang she
I
had.
think that actually might be Marina because her because it does kind of have that kind of like foreigner sound. Marina Haas-Schultz. But her credit is specifically goes. It says specifically in the credit goes Rodent smartphone.
See, I knew it. It might be the case then there.
Yes.
But we'll probably find out later down the road if they ever decide to bring this character back up again for any other future plots, like if Ash and Go decide to go back to Hoenn as well for this. Tyrone, I also wanted to give you, I wanted to hear your opinions, I should say, on something I brought up earlier before you actually got into the call.
German.
You know, so I mentioned how throughout not Sun and Moon, but Pocket Monsters, I thought that the whole premise of this series was going to mainly be the professor was going to be the one to push these characters through the various regions for certain plot points and to look into some data stuff for the professor. However, thanks to this episode, we learned that Ash was the one that sort of kicked things off for the plot. And he was the one that told Go, hey, we are going to the Hoenn region because I signed us up for the Battle Frontier.
You signed us up for this tourney.
Yeah, and it shows to me that Ash is really taking this whole thing seriously about traveling across the world. You know, because she's, well, because I was hearing TSS right here, but no, because Ash was the one that initiated this discussion, you know, about going to Hoenn and signing up for the Battle Frontier.
Someone please edit the clip where Ash throws a bag at Go and he's like, so I started a fight club.
Yeah, so what do you think about that, Tyrone? Like, the fact that Ash is going out of their way for it.
Also, I like that everybody was outside doing the yoga, and Ash is the one that comes out and tells Go that. That means, like, the world is doing more than just the one thing. I've always liked the idea that the best way in writing to expand the world is to make other characters do different stuff in simultation. Like,
it's Kung Fu.
Well, Tai Chi, yeah.
Tai Chi,
Kung Fu.
Yeah. Well, they say Kung Fu, so.
Well, yeah. Basically, they were doing something to help, ease the mind of stress while at the same time helping the chi and chakra in your body. But anyway, the point of what I'm trying to get, I like the idea that while something's happening, something else is happening. I've always liked that just in fiction and manga and anime, anything, where other characters are getting stuff done in their own way. Yeah. While something's happening on the forefront, while they're the ones. First of all, the camera was off of Ash for a bit, which kudos.
Yeah, well, throughout the series, honestly,
we don't get enough of that.
Yeah, Ash is doing something in the sidelines for once.
Yeah, he's doing so. Yeah, he was off screen when he signed them up.
Yeah, and I thought many people might find that as a little odd because it's off screen land, but I think for Ash as a character to do that, I think that's actually something very unique for him because he's normally the one that's always up front and center to kind of initiate these plots.
The reason I like that is because you can do the imagination in your head. I mean, yeah, visuals are nice, but you can imagine in your head Ash was probably on the computer trying his hardest to figure it out.
That would be funny to see, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, to figure it out and sign them up for the tournament.
Yeah, like, how do you spell go again?
G-O or G-O-U. But or is it goo?
Apparently, the name that the characters that they used for the names were weird. Like, I think under Go's picture was like GJF or some shit.
What? Okay.
Yeah, it was some weird shit.
Okay, gosh.
Like random letters.
Well, yeah, and I just like that idea too. I like the idea Ash was, doing something while the others were doing something, and just because his thing was off screen doesn't mean it didn't have relevance. It has relevance because it brought the plot front and center. So I like that. I like that training that Mr. Mime was doing, the Tai Chi, was relevant because it was useful because Mr. Mime used those skills in the battle. So it all had a purpose. Nothing felt like it was wasted. And even the stuff that was like just there at random, like Mr. Mime, Metapod hitting the rock and then doing the wink and all of that, it helped bring charm to things, like I said, that otherwise didn't have charm in the first place. You never would have thought Metapod, Pinsir, and things like that would actually have a personality outside of just being bug Pokemon. So yeah, this I can't find anything particularly wrong about this episode.
It was fun. This was probably the most fun episode from Pocket Monsters this year, in all honesty, because it does a lot of things that many fans were concerned of with the direction that this series was planning to go. And yet it establishes that no, we're not going to, those Pokemon that we caught last episode to completely disappear in the background, B, make Ash irrelevant as a character and actually make him lose his competence as a trainer, and C, develop Go as a character while still trying to establish a better understanding of the world as a whole, I think they did everything right in this episode, in my opinion. Yeah, it might be slow, but it did the job that it needed to do right. So that's my opinion on it.
Yeah, I feel it pretty much did its due diligence, and hell, Go caught some Pokemon in it. And I really hope that they do that for pretty much every episode. If his goal is to catch as many Pokemon as possible, I wouldn't be against him catching like 1, 2, 3, or 4 Pokemon every episode.
Also, can we talk about the nice little callback to a certain girl from the last season? In case you might have missed out on it, at the very end of the episode, Go collects a couple of Wurmple, and everybody was, being like, "Oh, cool, you caught Wurmple, but why 3?" And Go,
he did it because of the Slickoon Cascoon situation.
Yeah, you can't exactly tell which is it gonna evolve into. It's just gonna happen, At least in the anime world, I think that's the thing. how does that apply in the video games? Is that also
in the
the same
video
thing?
game world? It's random.
Oh, as well. Okay, so
I mean,
guess,
there's an equation, but it's random.
okay, so the equation is just non-existent, I guess.
And there's one more.
Yeah, so Ash is like, oh my god, the Pokemon are gonna evolve, and goes like, wait, really? And then Ash is like, who's this? Similar to some, you know,
fucking with him.
yeah, and also similar to what Lana does. If you remember from Sun and Moon, she does that as well.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a nice little callback there. I guess he kind of has been adapting a little bit from some of the characters he's experienced in his past adventures and kind of slapping them here and there in a nice tone that doesn't feel forced, you know? If that was to be a nice little callback, I really do appreciate it.
And I think the last picture they just posted is going to be the gag.
All right, let me see right there. Oh, yes. Okay, yeah, thank you so much for bringing that up. Okay, so what happened soon after that, Score Bunny comes in, gives Ash a good kick to the back, and Koharu's like, you know, of all the things you've done, you deserve that. And Pikachu also agreed as well. Normally, Pikachu will, you know, will defend Ash in situations that he needs to be defended in, but if he knows that Ash is doing something that clearly is going to give him the boot to the butt, he's going to be like, yeah, you totally deserve that, Ash, you know? So I really love that detail there with, you know, Pikachu's whole character as well. When he needs to defend Ash, he will defend. But if Ash does something stupid, Pikachu will be like, yeah, you deserve that too.
Now for my patience for running gags can vary depending on how well the running gag is. Like, for example, I like Beware's running gag because he always finds a different variant of it.
Yes.
I feel like the Score Bunny kicking Ash in the butt running gag is going to get old to me at some point really fast. I can see it coming.
Yeah, but for now, though, I will admit, though, the Mightyena kick was great.
that actually does dive into a little bit of what I have against this. Unfortunately, Ash has to become the Clement of this series. And what I mean is that he has to get his ass whooped a lot because Go, it's not going to look right if Go gets his butt kicked. He's the intellectual. So what they had to do was, to make up for that, he's going to get the brunt of punishment the whole time. Everything's going to happen to him. Like, Pokemon are going to randomly attack him. Pikachu's going to shock him. Score Bunny's going to kick him. He's going to get his ass whooped in this series just simply because somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, that's true. And also, there are fewer characters this time around.
But I think though it's going to be fun because again, it's going to be something different.
I don't know. With me, I'm used to seeing Ash get his ass kicked around, but I don't know. It just at some point, sometimes when running gags happen on certain characters, they feel forced. Like, I didn't mind it with Clement because that was one of Clement's like redeeming features. It worked off of the fact that he's mostly kind of clumsy. Like he makes a lot of just overlooked mistakes. So if he does something stupid, then his punishment usually is that it blows up in his face, quite literally. Ash, usually if something happens, he's the slapstick comic of relief sometime, but he's never on Team Rocket levels of slapstick. I don't know, just there's always been a difference. Because for Ash, it's used sparingly. It's used for good moments. I don't want to see him just get his butt kicked the whole time.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's only justified reasons if they have something to talk about.
Well, in this episode, it felt a little like, oh, come on.
No, I mean, like, I think they worked well, to be honest, because,
it did well because it wasn't just out of, like, the blue random. It's just that fucking Satoshi did something fucking stupid.
And also, even then, there was a moment when Ash didn't even do anything stupid.
He didn't even do anything stupid, and he got his ass kicked anyway, or fucking shot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It
fine.
felt a little forced. Like, if Ash has literally nothing to do with the situation, but he gets hit anyway, then it's just like, well, what?
No, to explain the plot, though. Yeah, because, like, what happened was Score Bunny was wanting to kick Hoji in the butt, and he was clearly already set and aimed to do so. Mightyena scared him away, and he's like, well, I still have my foot up in the air. Let me just direct it to someone that's close by.
And that's fine. Like I said, and that's fine. I'm not saying it's a problem in this episode. There's nothing wrong with it.
Oh, no, but I get you. I'm saying,
I just know in the upcoming future, once we reach episode 100 and Ash gets run over by a fucking Rhyhorn or some shit, I'm going to be like, I get it. He's Team Rocket Part 2. Like...
Yeah. No, I get you.
It's gonna wear me down.
You know what I'm really appreciating, though, with the kicks? Is that there's certain inclusions to come along with that kick. I mean, when Ash got kicked by Scorbunny in this episode, Pikachu got pissed because, of course, he wanted to defend his partner. And then when he electrocuted Ash by accident instead of Scorbunny, Pikachu got, furious by that point. Like, we're talking about best wishes Pikachu when he got betrayed by Meowth levels of pissed off right there. Yeah. He wanted to murder that Scorbunny.
Yeah, and I'm going to say, and no, I'm not going to, like, I'm not expecting, like, I'm not punishing Ash for having comic moments, first of all, because even in X and Y, where Ash was his most serious, there was a running gag. Hell, there was a running gag with Fennekin hitting him with Ember because he accidentally got Fennekin's fur dirty. Like, that happened multiple times.
Yeah.
So it's not that, but it was used so sparingly that when it did happen, it worked.
Understandable.
Yeah, like it worked. There's times Team Rocket has already been established as the Tom and Jerry slapsticks of Pokemon. We don't need more Team Rocket members.
Yeah, like I mentioned, it's just gonna be hard because there's just so few characters in this series, unfortunately, that it's not gonna work.
Yeah, that's why I said that's where I see where the incoming problem is that Ash is gonna have to take on that role of let me get beat up by Pokemon.
Or maybe
he
they
already
can shift
did
it to
during Go's
well.
episode.
Yeah,
like, he already did during Go's episode where Pinsir beat the crap out of him.
Yeah, if they can, like as Donnie says, like if we can find ways to use certain gimmicks sparingly throughout the series, then yes, it could work properly. Yeah. Like with Beware, Beware at the start did a lot, but then as the series progressed on, it slowly faded a bit away, so that way when it does come back, the impact is hilarious and comedic, So if we can do something like that for the kick thing, I think it'll work fine. It's just, there's just one problem with that kick bit. Scorbunny's known to do a lot of kicking, unfortunately, so they need to kind of figure out what to do with Scorbunny to make it feel something that doesn't feel forced and rather, feels natural to the plot point that we're in with that episode. Or just don't have Scorbunny at all. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with the storyline moving into 2020, I should say. And I'm looking forward to it, man. I think so far, and I guess I want to hear your opinions on it before we go wrap things up for tonight. We're moving into 2020 right now. How do you guys view Pocket Monsters 2019 with the 7 episodes we have at hand as of this moment? And what is one thing you really want to see from this series? Like just one genuine thing you want to see from this new Pocket Monsters 2020 anime that is going to, it's completely different from what we've experienced so far. So maybe you guys have something that you would like to see be brought up on
Satoshi's old Pokemon.
You think next year would be the point where they would be brought back?
I think that's the popular one.
I think summertime it would be best to bring them back.
I knew that was going to be the popular one. Everybody wants Ash's old Pokemon back. Me personally, what I want to see is honestly, it's weird. This series, it's not my favorite, but at the same time, it's not the worst right now, but that's only because it's literally like 7 episodes old. So, but it hasn't done anything that's made me upset about it. Like it's doing a pretty good job catching my attention. So I don't think I've seen one episode besides that Ivysaur when it was kind of shaky. And even that wasn't terrible. It was a good episode. I think the problem was the level of continuity in Vermilion City.
Well, to be fair, there wasn't anything in Vermilion City that they did that would be referenced anyway.
Lieutenant Serge.
Yeah, but that's just a character who could be brought up later down the road. But for now, like as a city, I mean, there's nothing to reference in the city.
Well, no, the kick in the face to a lot of people, and I remember Polly and Ness, I think, brought this up, was they're building a gym in Vermilion, but there's already a gym in Vermilion City.
Somebody said it looked an awful lot like the Pokemon Go gym. Like the mobile game because of like the tall tower thing.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, but, somebody says bring back a more shipping. You got it, man.
Oh, Lord. Honestly, I think this show's doing good on its own 2 feet. I really just want Ash to catch some new Pokemon just to see how he works with the Pokemon that Galar.
Or maybe not Galar. Maybe.
Yeah, just to work with. I just want him to see him interact with a new team right now.
Yeah,
that's what I really want.
because this episode really did a good job in showcasing, as I mentioned before, just how Ash is able to adapt with the Pokemon he has in his, in his hands at the moment. Mr. Mime, yeah, he can, he's more on the defensive side and more on the special side, given psychic moves and whatnot, where Pikachu's more on the physical and quick approach, So it's nice to see that. Now I want to see that be brought up upon newer Pokemon that Ash has little to no knowledge about, or maybe has knowledge about but never physically used one before. It would be cool because now we can actually see some cool combinations be brought up this time around. I don't want to see just Galar Pokemon. I feel like that's something that could be that doesn't need to be in this series.
And I'm gonna be honest, I think this series is literally doing, like, I'm not hoping, this is the weirdly enough, this is the one series I'm not hoping like something stupid major happens, at least not now. I kind of just wanted to be just to entertain me, because I see the formula that they're going for. Every episode is going to be some new form of adventure. It's going to be something new.
Yeah.
Something each time. So you're not going to get like, oh, this 5-episode story arc of Ash and Go trying to fight the mysteries of the... No, you're not getting all of that. At least not now, you're not. You're getting simple... today, Ash and Go are going to the Unova region to figure out why Durant exists. Like why?
Yeah.
But...
because when you read that summary, it's like, that's so ridiculous, but I want to see it,
Right. Like it's literally just that. I'm not... This is the series that it's like, I'm chill about. Ash already did his major thing. He won the league.
Yeah.
So I think this is just a time for him to just, exist.
Explore the parts that you never got to experience in your journey, because now you're seeing things in a completely different perspective, and I think Ash understands that. That's why I said it felt to me super significant how Ash was the one that initiated the start of this episode with him telling Go, let's go to the Hoenn region to go to the Battle Frontier. He
also, I
looked
want
up
Go
the
to catch a
information.
shiny Pokemon. I don't know why. I just want that.
I was hoping that one of the...
I want a shiny hunting episode.
I genuinely hope, or I was hoping for, one of the Wurmple to have been a shiny for no reason whatsoever, because he caught 3 of them.
I don't think he needs it this early.
No, but I mean, like, it would have been like, why is that one Pokemon oddly colored? I don't know. Something like that.
I want him to get a shiny later on. I wanted, like they've been searching far and wide for this Pokemon. They find a bunch of it. And, like, Ash finds it on accident, like, tosses it to the side, and then he's like, wait a second.
Yeah, where'd it go? It's gone. And it turns out to be like the Joltik, so they're like those little itty bitty ones as well that are super hard to find.
Like he's searching through and he's looking for, he's looking for a shiny. It's a shiny, but it's one of the shinies that are so much like the original, you can't tell. So
like
Ash has been staring at
Garchomp,
them.
I think?
Yeah, like he's been staring at the 2 for so long.
Like,
Meanwhile, Go found a shiny and he, like, is actually pursuing it or something.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty cool. It all depends on how they intend to bring this plot moving forward. Some plot. I don't even know what the plot is for this series. It's just mainly be research fellows.
It's an episode of the day plot.
Yeah. Although I do think that your whole idea about the adventure thing, just sort of going with the flow and whatnot, has come into fruition with this series, because it's like, next episode, I don't know if you read the summary for next episode, via the episode preview.
Something about a water race or something?
Yeah, but the thing that I found hilarious was in the preview that they had, they mentioned that Piplup swam all the way from Sinnoh to Kanto, which is why he was super thin and skinny in the preview of next week's, or not next week's, but the next episode. I think the next episode we won't get until the 12th, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So, unfortunately, we're not going to be getting an episode for 2 weeks, sadly. But, I hope this upcoming episode is good, though. But, yeah, so I think you're getting what you were asking for, Tyrone. I think they're doing that, where it's like, why the hell did this Piplup swim suddenly from one region to the other?
It's lost.
Yeah, it sounds so stupid. I love it, though. It's things like these.
Dehydrated Pochama.
Yeah, stay hydrated, folks. So, You know, I want more of this stuff. I want more of plots that just don't make any sense whatsoever, but yet somehow they keep moving with that plot, and it comes out with an ending that's like, huh, that's understandable, you know? Similar to what happened with the recent episode with Battle Frontier, where they just suddenly appeared in Hoenn out of nowhere, and then Ash competed in the tournament.
But we're not going to get the what the fuck Empoleon, so it's not going to be...
Yeah.
Although I would love that again.
I'm actually more interested in Go's journey in this series than Ash's.
Yeah.
Only because, one, he's new, but it's clear that the spotlight's going to be on him for a bit. Two, Go is more interested in catching Pokemon than battling. He's a catcher trainer. And there's a lot of ground to be covered when being a trainer who specifically wants to capture Pokemon. I want to see, like, oh, there's a Pokemon that's super rare. Oh, there's a shiny. Oh, there's a Pokemon that, I want to see an episode where he tries to catch Abra and it just doesn't work out because, you know, Abra is one of the toughest Pokemon to catch because it teleports. I want to see, an episode where, you know, he's trying to catch a Pokemon and it uses self-destruct. So he never
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, he never gets the chance to do it.
Hey, can we get the Dynamax explosion then, please? That would be so hilarious.
Right. I want to see a lot of these episodes where, like, catching a Pokemon, you know, is a lot more difficult than it needs to be because, you know, you're running into those problems when coming to catch a Pokemon, right? Mm-hmm. I want to see more of that. Because that's one of the trials.
The growing pains.
The growing pains, exactly. I want to see that because they've never really tackled those issues in Pokemon. They played around with them. But usually when Ash and his traveling companions have their team, that's it. Like, they don't really interchange outside of that except for in Best Wishes.
Yeah, but Donnie, that's going to be a Wish Cache, but we're not going to see a Wish Cache.
It's banned.
The Master Ball, the Master Ball situation because he ate the Master Ball. Yeah, I want to see funny stuff like that happen though. I want to see stuff that legitimately happens when you are a trainer looking for a Pokemon. Maybe there's a roaming legendary or something that he tries to catch, but he never gets around to it.
Maybe we'll actually see a Porygon actually being.
No, I was gonna say Go collects every single Pokemon, including all of the Mysticals and whatnot, but for some stupid reason, Porygon is the only Pokemon that Go cannot obtain. And they don't ever explain as to why. Just like, I don't know. I can't seem to catch this guy. I don't see him anywhere.
Or maybe there's an episode where he tries to catch Ditto. Unfortunately, he ends up transforming into every freaking Pokemon, and just so he can't find it. Or something like that. Just, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of potential when you have a trainer who specifically focuses in this field.
Yeah. Hold on. Johnny is your boy 100 says, KG, since we don't have an episode for next week, can you have a discussion about Anime 2019 for next week? I don't mind. I wonder if Evie's going to be there as well.
We can do that.
Yeah, I know if you had your fair share of anime, Tyrone, with this year.
Yeah, I've been watching quite a bit this year.
I know one in particular you've been a big fan of, and I'm assuming you're excited for the fact that season 2 was announced.
Yes. Actually, there's 2, but...
2, really, now?
Yeah, actually, I've been watching quite a few. I watched Shield Hero, Dr. Stone, Fire Force. I've been perusing in the animes.
Nice. But yeah, so we'll probably give a discussion on anime for a little bit for next week if you guys are interested for that. But yeah, so if there are a lot of cool things I'm really looking forward to with Pocket Monsters. I will say, it also makes me happy to see people aren't looking at this in a negative light, like how it was with Sun and Moon when Sun and Moon started because of the big shift of animation and all that. Mm-hmm. And people were just already at that
Sun and
moment.
Moon's timing was terrible. It followed the sting of Ash losing the Kalos.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It had this very negative effect that unfortunately the series had to suffer in the first few episodes.
And also they went too extreme with the comedy aspect, and that's what turned off more people. So that was a 1-2 punch.
Yeah, because like I told you, had Ash won the league in Kalos and moved into Sun and Moon and been comedy like how it was in the start, I feel people wouldn't have gone too hard. I think people would still be at it, but not too hard.
They still would have been tearing it apart. They just wouldn't.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that strong as it had Ash won the league because okay, he's chilling. Let him do his thing, But now, I literally got my wish a generation later. He won the league, Now he's chilling. Now he's doing things his own pacing. He's not having, to be forced into a plot line of following this route, collecting badges, doing these things and whatnot, because he doesn't need to. He already accomplished his goal in the last series, and now he gets to travel around the world and find things that, he enjoys and goes for it. Like in this episode, he went specifically for the Battle Frontier. He went out of his way to look for it.
Yeah.
He went out of his way to travel there and even bring Go along, despite Go not even wanting to do it, because he was just like, wait, you signed me up out of complete nowhere. I'm going to have to go in anyway. So, I'm loving that side of Ash. I think that's also something really great about this series. I think they've really done a great job in establishing Ash as being like, you know what? I'm going to take Olivia's words from last series and really view the world in a completely different light than how I used to before. But we'll find more answers, I guess, for Pocket Monsters 2019 when we see it in 2020. Hopefully it'll be a good one, and hopefully we'll continue to enjoy it as much as, it can deliver on. And, like I mentioned, I'm just happy that this series is just being viewed a little bit more positively compared to how it was at the start of Sun and Moon. I feel people took Sun and Moon and just completely shat on it so hard because of, what we mentioned before. But here, given the events of what happened with the finale of Sun and Moon and now going into Pocket Monsters, I feel this series did a really great job with showcasing Ash's true complete competence and how he's not really regressed as many people thought he would have, been, or he would have suffered through. Mm-hmm. Because, people were thinking, oh, Ash is going to be regressed, Pikachu's going to go back to level 1 or some shit like that, But no, it's not like that.
Continuation.
Yeah, he whooped the Lugia. He gave an electric attack to Lugia that clearly showcased more damage to the Pokemon than any of the other trainers that were in that raid battle at the beginning, And I guess it even gained a bit of respect for Lugia as well, Stuff like that. And then the Battle Frontier here, where Ash was just sweeping through the tournament, getting to the finale, and even proving that he's able to adapt in fights and whatnot. This is good stuff. This is what we love to see, and I hope that this continues moving forward. I feel like the people who are working on this series understands that to make a series great, you continue from what you've established and work with it and find ways, and creative ways, I should add, to be something refreshing yet nostalgic at the same time. And so far in 7 episodes with Ash anyway, I'm really getting it. And with Go, it's a completely different side with him because he's catching Pokemon. He doesn't need to be restricted to just 6 Pokemon. He can catch how many he likes and work with what he has. And I'm excited for that potential as well, because the moment he decides to go out of his way to collect other typings, like how he did in this episode with flying types, with, Suba and the Wurmples and whatnot, I feel like there's a lot of potential for this. I think that there could be really creative things that could come out from Go as his team. Let's say he has different teams for different regions, maybe he'll bring back the Suba Jr. into Hoenn again when he goes back to Hoenn later down the road or something like that, because they did something creative with Taylor where they used it as a seeker to find a Wurmple to, as Tyrone mentioned before, with locating for food and whatnot. So I hope we see more of that. And that's really all I got to say. So far, Pocket Monsters 2019, in my eyes anyway, I'm really loving it. And I hope that they can continue to do that as well. But then again, after what you did with Sun and Moon, I'm perfectly fine with whatever we got now, man. I am very, very happy. I'm a very happy boy this decade. This was a great decade for Ash, man. I'm so happy for him. He deserved this. He needed this shit, man. After 8 years of just having to go through a lot. Here he got his wins and everything, and we're going into 2020 with a new side of him, I guess. I don't know. I feel like there's just a lot of potential. So, anything else you guys want to add before we go wrap things up for tonight?
Not really. I think we took care of everything. I just can't wait until. Remember, the next Pocket Monsters episode will be airing on January 12th. So, once again, no episode next week. So it'll give us a lot of opportunity. And also, a lot of other anime is not resuming anyway. I mean,
Yeah,
we're
it
talking
ended.
about- well, no, Yokai, the Yokai Watch, the Yokai Waigaku, the next episode will be on the 10th, so they're not on this week.
Huh, interesting.
So yeah, I guess it depends on the anime. So check the local listings and see which episode and which series that you're watching doesn't have a episodes this week and next week.
Yeah. So yeah,
Maybe
most
we'll look
anime
after
most anime are going to be off during these next 2 weeks, man.
Yeah, because nobody's gonna watch them.
Exactly. Only My Hero Academia is airing right now. Is it really now? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
somebody brings this up too. No movie 23 news.
Yeah, nothing.
Good.
I mean, the only movie 23 news we got was literally just from the Blu-ray disc. If you bought that for Japan, and TSS
Yeah,
gave
but
us pics of that.
that trailer was in the movies, which meant that trailer is now almost 6 months old.
Yeah,
Good. That means they're writing it.
yeah, and I hope that
That means they're taking their sweet ass fucking time. We don't need. I never even thought we didn't even need a movie like every year.
no, but
That-
we're
that
still
shit's
getting
kinda
one though.
done.
We're still getting one because
I know we're still getting one, but when you're rushed for time to write, you write shit. Like period. Like
Yeah, because like it's like the moment that it comes out, they immediately have to write a script 6 months in advance or some
if
shit.
you have a deadline for a movie, then you're gonna
So,
just make whatever.
I think M23 is probably going to be announced later next month.
Yeah, probably in middle January then at that point. I mean, if they hold it till February.
Probably around when Core comes out.
Exactly. So they're going to probably save it for then. I do hope, though, sincerely, I hope now, with Pocket Monsters movie 23, Go is added to the story. But it's still an alternate universe, as weird as that sounds.
No, we don't
No.
need to do that anymore. We can add. This is a free enough universe where Sakuragi just says, "Hey, Ash and Go, check this mountain out or something," and then fucking Zacian and Zamazenta are there or something. Like they can do
no,
that.
That would work.
Because, like,
Yeah.
to me, the thing is, I really want elements that can only be done into the alternate universe to be done in the alternate
What
universe.
can be done in an alternate universe that can't be done with Ash and
I don't know.
the
That's
movies
what I'm
don't
saying.
affect the series, so who cares?
No, because I feel like it might now at this
Literally,
point.
it can just go. Sakuragi's like, there's the ancient tales of a bell that never rings, no matter how hard you hit it. Ash, go check it out.
The movie.
The movie. Turns out there's a Pokemon that's stopping that shit from happening or something. I don't know. I'm just saying, this is a free enough environment where literally anything can happen.
Oh, somebody says the info we got for 23 is Ash and Pikachu set out on a new adventure, and that's about it. Okay, so I guess Go is not in there then. I guess it's another A. Maybe because Go wasn't introduced at that time when they made the summary for it. I don't really know, but
I don't know.
I really would like to see AU Ash still. I feel like the movie side and the anime side should be their own thing, because I feel
And
like
it couldn't work for Sun and Moon because Sun and Moon, in the context of Sun and Moon, it wouldn't work. But here, they have more than enough freedom. Each episode usually ends with the adventure ending. The mission that they had to accomplish is over.
Yeah.
This could literally just be, hey, you're on a mission, and it turns into way more than what they bargained for. Like, their mission originally was, oh, they have to check out why the Roselia's flowers won't bloom in the Sinnoh region. Turns out the reason it does is because there's some Pokemon causing pollution on the entire world because it was in jeopardy because of this gang that attacked it. And yeah, like it can turn into something bigger.
So it's gonna turn into some fucking Captain Planet shit. Okay, cool.
Well, no, I'm saying like the issue that they had to do was otherwise became bigger because of something else.
you know what? You know what's gonna happen?
We're gonna have a movie that's based off of garbage.
Man, no, literally. It's gonna be Gigantamax Garbodor.
Or
there we
shit.
go.
Oh,
What,
God, oh
Attorney-
shit, yeah.
What, Eternius is part poison dragon, so and is probably fucking everything up. Like,
No, but
like,
that's not his gimmick though. His gimmick is just the Giganta Dynamax thing.
yeah, man. I'm just saying. I'm saying like this series can make a plot and a movie, and it would still work in context.
I want Ash and Go to be in a spy movie. We got some like bootleg Mission Impossible
Like a
themes.
Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, that would be really cool. You know, honestly, I would love that shit if they could actually pull that off right. Where it's like Ash.
Hi,
Yeah, but you
girls.
gotta- yeah, but
Hi,
you gotta have-
Sakuragi.
Yeah, but you have to have the cassette tape fucking burn up. Have to
No, it's gonna be Koharu and her two friends, and then Ash and Go just get pulled into the plot line by sheer accident and what shit.
Good morning, angels. Good morning, Sakuragi.
Please, that shit would be great. Jeez. Like, I feel like as much as that sounds like hilarious, I feel like that can only be done in AU, in my opinion. I don't know. It's just weird in my eyes. I think it's just because AU feels so different from movie, anime. I think they should continue to do it, because another thing is also, I'm assuming we're also going to get a different art style yet again. They're not going to maintain the same art style that we've been getting beforehand. I think they're going to move yet again to another new artistic direction.
Ash went from almost 6-7 art styles to 18 in an instant because of this damn alternate universe.
Yeah, I know, right? And also Sun and Moon also decided to open up the opportunity for them to continue to change art styles as well. Which, it did produce one of the best It produced one of the best films of this decade for Pokemon, man. So, I can't say, nothing negative about that. Forget Everyone's Story, one of the best films of of this decade, in my opinion. So let's see what happens. It can go my way, it can go your way, it can go no one's way. In fact, a lot of the times whenever we predict these things, they never go our way. They do something way out of proportion that just be like, I'm excited to see what you have to offer. So yeah, let's look forward to the fun times together. Once again, everybody, from the bottom of our hearts though, thank you guys so much for all your love and support. You've been with us through ups and downs and all arounds, and you have been here with us here on Twitch right now, supporting us here all the way. We couldn't have done this without you. Thank you guys so very much. Our journey in the PokePod ends in this decade here with this session. But don't worry, folks, we'll always be back again for next week, because in the new decade, our first session of 2020 is going to begin. And hopefully it's going to be a good one. Onwards to new decades and new opportunities for all of us. Of course, with me in this call for tonight, I have with me my pal Tyrone, the Guy 3.
Glad to be here.
And of course, none other than our pal TSS Killer as well.
In 5 hours, Kohaku Utagasen comes on. Go watch it.
I'm not sure what that is,
but I'll definitely... I'm not going to be up for 5 hours. Fuck.
Yeah, man. I only do that for Pokemon, not for this.
I got to wake up at 8.
I think it's Kohaku 70.
Whatever that is. I wish I knew what it was. I'm sorry.
Kohaku Utagasen is the red-white song battle that they have every New Year's Eve.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they're gonna have some good players on the. They're gonna have some good singers and good performance.
Nice. All right then, folks. Everybody, once again, thank you guys so much for being with us here tonight. We had a great time. Hope you guys will tune in again next week for more silly shenanigans. So until that day comes, I want all of you guys to, of course, have a happy holidays. Take care. Happy New Year. And we hope to hear from you guys in the new decade. So take care, everybody. And as always, have an awesome day.
Mr. FPGA Part 2 tomorrow. My Twitch channel, twitch.tv/TSS_killer. Good night, everybody.